rules. Please remember to tip the Wiki bartenders 20%. No droids, no bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Kyle Ron fan, no Disney canon fans of any kind. If you're a Mandalorian fan, you get a pass because it's Jon Favreau. But if you're a Kathleen Kennedy, High Republic, trash, monger, bye. Okay. You hit the road before I have the Wookiees throw you out. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that we're not hearing anything. Literally no news. It's quiet. Now, that doesn't mean that it's blown over. That just means that I think the sides are taking stock in what's been going on and probably trying to come up with another strategy or what have you. Or there's stuff going on behind the scenes that we haven't heard. Given the fact that Doomcock hasn't said anything since the beginning of this week when he dropped that one video, really, Pirates and Princess has been quiet, and Midnight's Edge, you know, we're talking a little bit about Rosario Dawson being a target now. Well, yet another, quote unquote, in Kennedy's perception, a chink in the Favreau-Filoni armor. So she's, you know, basically sending the minions after her, or at least they're threatening to, though I don't think they can really unseat her. Basically, Rosario is one of them. You know, there's only been one place where they've really made a threat to her. I don't go on Twitter. I do check pertinent info sites on Twitter for information, but really it's quiet right now. You know, maybe Disney's hoping this will blow over. Well, it's not. I mean, you go over to well, let's do this. Let's see where the latest video for the Star Wars channel is on YouTube, shall we? Just because the ratio will be good for some kicks and giggles. Oh, come on, stupid thing. Yeah. What in the actual F? Oh, okay. I had the caps lock on. Sorry. I should have this stuff set up before I have you guys come on, but I never think about that. You're dealing with the dits right now, so just please you put up with it, okay? Let's see. All right, let's go YouTube. Okay, we can do that. So I think they're probably, what I think is going on is there's stuff going on behind the scenes. It looks pretty quiet right now. Here we go. All right.
This week, we reveal the secrets of...
You be quiet, please. My God. Woman, we can only tolerate you for so long. See videos. All right. The Martian Row. Hey, C-Man, what's up? All right, let's see if I can find the mute button here. I don't see, this is, all right, I'm gonna put this on.
Centuries before the rise of
that. Okay. Now, get ready. See that? That's the ratio. They're getting pounded. They put up a Happy Lunar New Year thing on all over the Disney company, on Instagram, on Twitter, from Lucasfilm to 20th Century Fox. And people are bringing up, Gina, they're bringing up the problem that's going on in China, as far as the Uyghur minority, Hong Kong, even from what I've heard, that now they're opening camps for people of Tibet. Mass genocide, and Disney's like, give me your yuans. I mean, Lucasfilm, with their high snore public, has kind of catered to China with their comic book. I think it's a comic book written in Chinese for China, where there's a part of the galaxy that's very much like the Hermit Kingdom, what China used to be, but now they're kind of like Nazi Germany. Yes, I said Nazi Germany, and I don't care. And it's very hilarious because the story features a Jedi who doesn't. Oh, I know. And now they're getting money, so they don't care anymore. I wonder how the Dalai Lama feels about this, but let me finish my story. The hero of this Chinese-centric comic is a Jedi who doesn't have any Force abilities, who's not connected to the Force. Have fun trying to wrap your brains around that one. Okay, I was just like this when I heard. Okay, it's really startling how they've literally dropped all the causes that they used to have. I'm sure Melissa Matheson, if she was alive, probably would be a little perturbed, since she was the leader and flag waver for the Free Tibet movement. I mean, hey, Richard Gere, remember him? Hollywood won't hire him anymore because the Chinese hate him, because he was definitely involved in that. And I wouldn't doubt that there are other prominent actors that aren't getting jobs because of their connection to that. Hollywood has to decide what they want to be. Do they want to be artists, free to make what they want? Or do they want to be part of, the next morphing of genocidal evil in this world, which is, I'm going to say it, China. Okay? They don't get out of jail free card because they're Asian. They attack Asian minorities. They threaten Japan. They threaten Korea. They even threaten North Korea. And my problem, and we should all remember this, is not with China, the people, it is with their government. It is with the way they conduct themselves. Back when, at the turn of the 19th to 20th century, China wanted nothing to do with any of us. And that's fine. I wish they were still like that. Well, yeah, let's not talk about China anymore. Yeah, they are. And all right, I'm going to go back to this. When we talk about history and we talk about totalitarian regimes, authoritarian is not what they are. They're totalitarian regimes. You go back and they infest everything from the education. If you studied Nazi Germany, you studied their education system. Grades 1, kindergarten through 12. Okay. The communists did too, but let's just stick with the fascists. They infiltrated the culture. There was a Ministry of Propaganda, led by Joseph Goebbels. Goebbels was basically the quote-unquote Louis B. Mayer of Nazi Germany. He decided what movies were going to make. He decided who was going to be a movie star, what stories were out there, what they were going to do. And they weren't good. I mean, propagandist movies aren't good. They talk about Triumph of the Will as being a beautifully made film, but it's still propaganda. Hey, John, but that's what they do. And right now, weirdly, we have the American film industry making pro-Chinese communist propaganda, thanking the Communist Party of a province that has concentration camps for a Muslim minority where their soldiers are raping the women, where they are harvesting organs, where they are committing genocide. Okay? And that is the fact. We don't have the right administration. If everything had been done right and the courts had done what they were supposed to do, I'm sure that the Justice Department and the FBI and several other governmental entities, the SEC, would be asking companies like, and it's not just Disney, be asking these companies, what is the extent of your relationship with these people? All right. And it's not like the Democrats aren't warmongers. All right. Because they are. It's just they don't want to have war against their Chinese overlords. They want to go after the Russians. And it's like, I have a theory about what we could be doing about that. Because when I look at the Russians, I look at Putin as someone I have a very frank discussion with. Who do you want to be? And look what's going on to everything. Why are we giving in to these people? Who do you really want to be an ally with? I mean, these are the questions that he should be forced to answer. Who do you want to be in league with? Okay, because let's put it this way. The Chinese don't have anybody's best interest at heart unless they're Chinese. And it's not just the Chinese. It's only the Chinese Communist Party. Okay? And everybody who wants to kiss their asses should know better. All right? Read Sun Tzu, first off. There you go. All right? Though I do think, and I do believe, Machiavelli and Clausewitz would pound the shit out of Sun Tzu in a heartbeat, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, there is something, go back to Disney and Lucasfilm, I don't know where this is going to go. It's to me, it's like there's no one's talking about anything today. And I know there's more stuff out there. Doomcock said he had far more too much for one video. And I'm like, then do 3 videos and drop one a day. Come on, man. Here's the problem. And it's just like our government. If a company is not transparent, people are left to ask questions. And these questions start snowballing into rumors and conspiracy theories and all the rest of this shit. And it's bad. That's bad. Okay? People need to be educated into what's really going on, no matter how bad or how good it is. Okay? And the reason simply is this. Then we can make an educated opinion. Then we'd have an educated opinion, and we can make our own judgments based on actual facts. Okay? Not whatever. Okay? And what we're doing is, this is all whatever. No, I haven't. I haven't seen Dr. Disaster. So I'm sitting here waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm sitting here waiting for someone at Disney to finally have the cojones to either call up Frank Marshall and say, you need to talk to your wife, or to talk to her personally. Either go to her house, the house in Malibu, because that's where they live, or have her come into the Burbank studios and say, we need to have a conversation. I mean, when you look, here's something that I just found out. High Republic is not a success, no matter how hard they try to say it is. None of the books are even in the top 600 now on Amazon. None. Okay, so calling it a success would be like calling what my dog produces every day in the morning a diamond. Okay, it's just not. I mean, it's not. And now, I mean, and I'm going to tell you something else. If it is obvious to me what she's doing and what her minions like Jason Ward and the rest of these scumbags are doing, attacking Gina Carano, and now it seems like they're going after Rosario Dawson, and probably Katie Sackhoff because she doesn't have pronouns in her bio. They'll probably go after her because her boyfriend is younger. Her live-in, I think he's a live-in, boyfriend is younger. And I say, hey, whatever, I don't care. It's, here's the deal. They're not the target. It's Jon Favreau. And if I can see it, if the guys at Midnight's Edge who aren't anywhere near it, just hearing stories, can see it, then Bob Iger and Bob Chapek and everybody at Disney can see it. Okay? It is, in my opinion, up to them to do something about it. All right? You can't have this infighting that's been going on for 2 years, and now it's gone from a Cold War to a hot war. You can bet your sweet bippy it has. And the idea that John, to Katie's face, had a cordial relationship with her, I have heard rumors to the contrary. I have heard rumors to the contrary. 360, I would think you're probably right. When you see them together, she's taller than he is. Now, she could be wearing combat boots with heels like that. But I would say probably she looks like if you let her be intimidating to you, she would be intimidating. To me, it's like, go fetch your shine box. But again, if Bob Iger was named Roberta and Roberta was something like a Miranda Priestley, who's lived and breathed doing a competent job for Disney, Kathleen Kennedy would have been gone a long, long time a long time ago. Oh yeah, I mean, but like I said yesterday, the fact that this hurts what Feige's doing with his own Star Wars movie has to make a difference. I can't imagine him going, I can't, no matter what. Just a second. Here, hate this. Oh my God, it's never ending. I'm probably allergic to something. I don't know what though. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine Feige going, wow, what a great idea. You did such a great job getting rid of her. I mean, I'm sure when he saw the reactions and they all know it's happening, he was probably like, what have you done, you dumb bitch? Because that's what guys, I mean, I'm sorry. Kevin Feige might be a bleeding heart liberal, but guys like that are misogynists on the inside. So I can't imagine him going, good going, girl, you did it. No, I can imagine him going, you fucked me over. Because I gotta say, he was brought in to make a movie over her head by Bob Iger. Okay? You've got 2 women doing her job. Other women. Michelle Rejwan, who is quiet. I haven't heard one word about her since she got hired. Momita Sengupta, not one word from her or about her since she got hired. And we got Kennedy sitting there with literally nothing to do. Okay? It is literally, I mean, to me, it looks like they've already put the, let's see what you say. Oh yeah, it was, because here's the deal about James Gunn, and I'm going to bring up bigotry against Christians. A lot of the stuff that he did was anti-Catholic bigotry, okay? Really sick, really ignorant filth, okay? but it was aimed at the Catholic Church. And a lot of people, even if they're Christians, who are morons and bigots, thought it was fine. Okay, they think it's fine if they're not Catholic, like I am. And if you go, hey, that's bullshit, then then I'm the one that gets shit on. And oh, by the way, everything he did was bullshit. Okay, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna warn you, if you are not Catholic or a lapsed Catholic and haven't been in church in a while, and you start spreading that shit about priests or the church in general, I'm gonna curb stomp you. Okay, I am going to curb stomp you. And the reason simply is this: if you haven't been to Mass, if you have renounced your allegiance and you don't know what is going on, or if you're an evangelical, some sort of Protestant, whatever, or not a Christian at all, and you're attacking the Catholic Church, you are a bad person. You are a bad, 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 ignorant moron. And I will have nothing to do with you, okay? And I mean it. Right there and then, you are done. What he did was so egregious because he's a pedophile. I mean, I've seen his name on lists of people that are known in Hollywood to be that way. Ryan Johnson's name too, by the way, and Seth Green's, okay? These are not isolated incidents. I've seen many different lists. Those names pop up. Also Rob Reiner, which could be the reason why he was so afraid of Donald Trump, because Trump was rolling up sex offenders and pedophiles like an exterminator goes into a house and gets rid of cockroaches. I mean, he was in there going like that. And Hollywood is full of people like that. Okay, they're full of sexual predators, and we all know that. I mean, there are good people there and there are bad people there. And like I said before, the casting couch, in every way it can be imagined, has existed since Clara Bow, Mary Pickford, Louise Brooks. Okay, so, and all the little kids that were child stars. I mean, Shirley Temple Black talked about that stuff back in the 30s. Okay, so, you know, that stuff, you know, is part, oh, hey, Mazarius, is part of, oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to say something about that. And you know who I'm talking about, Dan. Dan Watanabe's in the house, by the way. I don't mind if a young woman in her 20s gets involved with a guy that's older. Bogey and Bacall, Bing Crosby and Catherine. I mean, he was 30 years older than her, and they were happy. Okay, I don't mind that. I mind if the girl is underage, and it's gross. It's like Harvey Weinstein. It's like Rob Reiner. It's like, you name the gross, okay? I mind that. I don't mind it if she's over the age of 21, and she's able, or 18 even. All right, I mean, that's still a teenager, but that's adulthood, apparently. Even though I think some people in their 30s or 40s are questionably adult. I don't mind that. And the reason simply is this. If you're happy, you're happy. And back in the days when, back in the 20s and teens, guys in their 30s actually did marry women, young women like that, because that was the age of getting married. Okay, 16, 17 years old, a girl was old enough to get married, old enough to have babies and families. Okay, that's why that happened. And so I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with predators. And the guys that I mentioned, Bogey, Bing Crosby, even Charlie Chaplin, weren't predators. Okay, they weren't. There's a difference. Okay, there's a huge difference. And we have to remember that when we're talking about that stuff. What I'm talking about is very illegal to the core, immoral to the core. All right. And it's been happening since the founding, like Dan said. But, and it's not just men who did it, women do it too. I've heard stories. Also, guys do it to guys in Hollywood. And of course, we have the pedophiles. All right. What happened to Corey Haim? And of course, you know, what I love about this is everybody who knows stuff about this who says, yeah, I know who did it. And then they don't say anything. I really hate that. And the reason why they're not okay with that, again, you know, like I said, Kennedy went behind the Bob's backs, just like she did. Now remember what that Deadline Hollywood story said. It went above Favreau's head at Lucasfilm, but it didn't go into Disney. Disney had nothing to do with Gina Carano getting fired, okay? And it didn't go to Feige either, I guarantee you. If Favreau didn't know they were doing it, Feige didn't know, okay? It was all goddamn Kathleen Kennedy, all right? This is the second time she's gone behind people's backs to do something. I don't understand how she can get away with it, but I honestly think she thinks she's bulletproof. Corey Feld, not Corey Haim was the one who he talks about mostly. Corey Feldman, yeah. But his friend, Corey, the Coreys, was the one that I heard it had it a lot worse. Okay. And even Feldman said that. I mean, it was like, and a lot of people, no, she's not going to choose her successor because there won't be one. Again, remember, it looks to me like they've already got her replacements in there. Michelle Rejwan last year, and then now this Momita Sen Gupta this year. All right, they're not going to hire another president for Lucasfilm. I think. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, and honestly, Maze, I think you're right. She's a glorified figurehead. She's angry, so she decided they're not giving me any more work. I'm gonna do this. She goes and talks to Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, which I'm gonna start referring her to as that, of all people, to be a showrunner. I mean, I want you guys to think about that. What does that mean? Now, we've heard rumors that Bob Iger, because Disney and Weinstein's company shared a studio lot. So, I mean, it's like this. I could get my picture taken with Carlo Gambino. That doesn't mean I'm a mobster. Okay? There's the problem right there. But we don't, I mean, it's the problem that with that is, I don't think Iger's so stupid as to get involved with Weinstein's bullshit. Okay, I don't. You know, he's not a strong man. Okay, thanks, Aislinn. Yeah, it would. I'd be like, actually, let's go back. I think Carlo Gambino looked like a nice old man. The one that scared the hell out of me would be Albert Anastasia. I mean, and to be honest, if I could sit down and talk to Michael Franzese, I would. Even Sammy Gravano. I think they're pretty, you know, for the weird shit they got into, they're pretty level-headed. And to be honest, I was sitting there thinking, listening to Franzese talk about his father, and it's like, I would rather do business with Sonny Franzese than do business with a U.S. government bureaucrat. At least you know, Franzese was a member of the mafia and an underboss, and not supposed to. I mean, we know he's not law-abiding. These guys are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be crooks, and they're. I mean, anyway, that's a tangent. Anyway, where was I? But so she does this behind their backs, gets Leslie Headland, which is weird. Who, and you'd like to know who's egging her on. And the only person I can see doing this is that weird little fucker, Alan Horn. Alan Horn was the one that encouraged TLJ, wasn't overly upset about the way the fans reacted. He is a, woke idiot. And if anything, he's probably the one ally she's got. But if you put him and her in a room against the Bobs, Favreau, and Feige, guess who still wins that? There has to be a certain point where Horn says, I have to protect myself. I can't protect you anymore. All right. It's like the mafia, just like my video that I posted. Please watch it. Yes. In fact, Maze, if you could drop a link in the chat so people who haven't seen it could see it, because I think it's kind of funny. But anyway, so she goes behind their backs, gets us Headland for some reason, of all people. And we all know that she got her hand slapped back for that. We all know that she had everything taken away from her. And I heard a rumor that she even had Indy 5 taken away from her. I don't know if that's true or not. Oh, I just wish he'd go away, C-Man. That Alan Horn's just a scumbag. And I bet you his casting couch is dirty. It is literally, I don't blame you. You don't want to see TLJ. You don't want to see Tross. It's just awful. Anyway, so she had her hand slapped. She had basically any power she had to greenlight any films or anything taken away from her. So she's because of this, or as a result of this, or the timeline to me is kind of mystifying how that all went down. And when they push back, which is stupid, the advent of the High Republic. Should we go back and see how badly ratioed it is? Because I still got the window up for their last video. And it's literally, a lot, most of the videos for the High Republic, most of the videos are either ratioed or even or almost ratioed. This is bad. This is bad. This is a fail. Okay, no matter what the cry bully Pablo Hidalgo says, it is a fail. Anyway, so they push back the advent of the High Republic, the arrival. Everyone's like, whoopee twang. Mandalorian season 2 comes out with a bang. Ends with a nuclear bomb, a hydrogen bomb, with the arrival of Luke Skywalker as Luke Skywalker. Okay, and people are just, and the reaction to anybody who is part of the High Republic is, we all know what Pablo Hidalgo did to Star Wars theory, and indirectly to us fans. All right, because that message was meant for all of us. And yeah, they did. And we all knew they were going to do it. It was, that whiteboard was almost a big middle finger, I think, to everybody. And deep down in their hearts, you have to assume they knew this was going to be a complete joke. Because they treat it like a complete joke. They're not serious. They're not passionate about the subject. They're only passionate about their goddamn causes, which is why they should all open up a nonprofit, We Hate Star Wars fans in DC, and then lobby Congress or something, instead of bothering with Lucasfilm, etc. Anyway, and that was the opening. That was the stuff with Gina had been going on. And I think Kennedy encouraged it. I think that she's behind it. because she looked at Gina as a way to get at Favreau. And so Luke shows up, kicks over any sandcastle they had, walks away with baby Grogu to cheers and tears. And, Favreau's going, we did it. We hit a home run. We scored a touchdown with that. Everyone's going, yay. And Pablo does what he does because he's a crybaby. And you guys, I don't know if you've seen Doomcock's latest. Dan, if you're still listening, I think I sent you a link to that. But Pablo got into it over COVID with Gina, and Gina kicked his ass. And Pablo bullied his way to Kennedy. Okay. And since Pablo's one of her pets, oh, I know, you will. And anyway, so that happened. So he was already feeling the sting of being basically humiliated by Gina Carano. Because, Pablo Hidalgo's a lot of things. Intelligent and clever, he's not. Okay? He's just a fucking idiot. And a fanatic. And blame his parents. Then we have the fire Gina Carano shit getting revved up over and over and over again. And then Gina posts that meme. And then Kennedy says, well, that's enough. So they basically say, and put it out there. I'm going to say this. Gina didn't have a contract. Her contract had already been up. What they were basically saying is that she doesn't work here. That was the first part. We have no plans to resign her. And then they added the personal insult to injury. They slandered her character. And and it was an anonymous person. And the reason why they stayed anonymous is because if there's a name attached to that, they could get their asses sued. And they know that, okay? All behind. They do this all behind and announce this, which is like, why are you even saying anything? Behind Favreau's back. What I think they did was they made it so when Mando 3, when Rangers of the New Republic starts up, that trying to get Gina to come back, it'll be very difficult. Unless something changes. All right. When you watch her interview, and then you watch Doomcock's video, and you see the crap that she had to go through, it is, and she never complained about it. She never complained to anybody about it that could have done something. She didn't go to Jon Favreau. She didn't go to Dave Filoni. She didn't go to, even Mr. Lucas. She kept her mouth shut, kept her head down, probably talked to a few people, and that was it. And I'm literally like, this is the second time this woman, who's already been put in a corner, she's a cornered animal now, has gone behind her boss's backs to fuck a colleague over. Okay? The first time it was to fuck her bosses over. Well, yeah, but Twitter is going away. You got to remember that Twitter is probably going to go to subscription only. That if you want to send a tweet, maybe you'll get two or three for free, and the rest you got to pay like $1 for. And most of these Twitter warriors are on there all the time. Okay, there might be a free subscription where you only get like 10 tweets a day. Wow, that's not going to change the world, whatever that means. These are people who literally think they're advocates, they're activists. They sit on Twitter with their 100 other fake accounts and get things trending. And that's all they do all day. They think they're activists. They actually think they're doing something. What they're doing is pissing people off because we all know it's fake and we all know what they're doing. Okay. Does Disney? I think maybe now they do. Anyway, but so she goes behind their backs, and you can't really. I heard that. I heard that they fired people for that, and I think maybe now the Bobs will have the guts enough to do that. It, I agree with you on that one too, Eastland. I mean, there really has to be a change. There really has to be something where people are like, that run these places are like, okay, we're done. Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, can you imagine Betty Davis putting up with this crap? What about Joan Crawford? I mean, or Maureen O'Hara or Lucille Ball. Oh my God. And Lucille Ball was basically the first female head of a studio. That's the thing I love. That's my favorite. My favorite thing about Kennedy. She wanders around with this rewriting history saying she's the very first. And she broke the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling was broke in the 60s. And it wasn't the fact, and it's not the fact that these women who came after Lucille were women. It was that they were really, really good at what they did. And it's really just fascinating that she gets away with it when people know that's not true. People know it's a lie. I mean, all you gotta do is pick up a history book or go and watch old Star Trek, original Star Trek, and you'll see Desilu Productions. That's Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. I mean, if anything, Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy should look at that and say, we owe them where we are now because they were here before we were. But you won't get that from Kathleen. I think you get that from Frank. Frank is a nice guy. I don't know. But she is, wow. I mean, the stuff that's come out about her, it's funny that these guys have tolerated her as long as they have. But we do know Spielberg walked away. Yeah, you're right, Ms. Arias. You're right. I mean, that's, and the thing I love about it, about that idea that she and Desi came up with is that it really was groundbreaking for back then. But there were other women who were in power at the studios. And yeah, well, like Gina said, there are people there that are scared of losing their jobs if they say anything. Yeah, I mean, she was. Lucy was a brilliant woman. And I mean, in the way Kathy Kennedy is not. She saw potential in things that other people didn't see. She wasn't looking to make feminist, female-centric crap. She was intent on making good stuff that would entertain people. Yeah, Eastland, yeah. I mean, and you're right, John 42. And when I think about her back in the 40s when she started out, or what was it, late 30s, and this lanky redhead amongst all these other beautiful movie stars. And I'm gonna say this: the women who are in movies right now can't hold a candle to them. Those women were. And I'll tell you something else. Those women, and I'm going to say, you name it, Ava Gardner, Lucille Ball, Rita Hayworth, all those women were far more liberated, Marlene Dietrich, far more liberated than these hags are today. Oh yeah, I mean, she doesn't, She doesn't, I don't, when I would really like to know what the feeling is on the street. I really, really would, because what the feeling is on the street about her now. You can't deny this, everything that she's touched since she's gone independent has crashed and burned badly. I mean, it's like you just gotta walk away and go, ooh, ooh, you know. It just, I mean, hey Dave, it's just really, really, I would really like to know what it is. And if we could get someone who is in the industry I would talk to him anonymously about what the real feeling is about what's going on with her. It would be really interesting. And I mean, I don't care if they're just mid-level producers or high up. I would love to sit down and talk. I would love to hear them. Well, yeah, unless she gets kicked out, which is a possibility. I mean, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, what happened with Gina, the way she handled it, the way it went down, and the continuous blowback, it's not stopping. It's not stopping. The Star Wars channel has not put up a new video. Now maybe they do one a week. I don't know, but there hasn't been a new video in a little while. Okay, you got Mark Hamill not talking about Star Wars at all in 10 days. You've got them screwing around, or somebody screwing around on Mandalorian IMDb writers list, the Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and basically reflecting what George Lucas has on his now. And what I think is going on is they are giving John full writing credit, which, and the people who actually wrote these scripts and these stories, full writing credit, which tells me something definitely is going on. Whether it's George coming back on some level, I don't know. Oh yeah, you're right. Dan, Noises Off is the one thing that you guys should go and look up the Google, look up the reviews. They had a fantastic cast. I think Michael Caine was in it, Christopher Reeves. Can't remember who the leading ladies were, but it had a fantastic cast. I mean, you can't get better than Michael Caine and Chris Reeves. And it was awful. It was awful. And it was Kennedy and Marshall's first foray out there by themselves. And it's kind of a poor reflection on Frank, but I think Frank on his own does a pretty good job. When Kathy is pushing the boulder up the hill, everybody gets flattened because it's coming right back down on her head. I mean, that's what it is. But look it up. Look that up, because it was a catastrophe. They, took a perfectly good idea, a great cast, probably a great director, and then just ruined it. And Congo, oh God, Congo. I remember watching that going, why am I watching this garbage? Well, there are things a man, what was that line from Outlaw Josie Wales? A man's got to know his own limits. There you go. Oh yeah, I mean, but here's the deal. When I see people say it's dead, it's a franchise, so you can't really kill it. You can put it to bed, you can lay it away for a while, but it can always come back. And they were also in Noises Off. Yeah, see? I mean, it's like Carol Burnett. Well, he did. They were friends. You trust your friends. he should have done a few questions like, "Are you really a Star Wars fan?" She did lie to him, Anton. She did lie to him. I mean, she lied about not having any source material. Yeah. Oh, Peter Bogdanovich. I mean, he's a great director. He had the best story about beating Marlene Dietrich. I think it was somewhere in L.A. and they ended up hanging out together for like hours, sitting around drinking and smoking, and it was like, holy shit. It was a cool story. I mean, he's an interesting guy, tragic in lots of ways, because of what happened to his wife. His wife, I mean, was Dorothy his wife or his girlfriend? Dorothy Stratton. Yeah, well, and you do make an emotional decision, but you gotta, and that's the thing. I mean, it's like, she's the Fredo to his Michael Corleone. I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You know, there's a lot of life lessons in a lot of that stuff, that in a lot of those movies and stories. When you start kind of parsing what a lot of these guys that left the mafia have said, and it's in our lives too. You have to trust the people you think you can trust. It's an emotional decision. They're family members. I mean, I've had family members stab me in the back. I've seen them stab our parents in the back. So, it's heartbreaking, but it happens. And your people you perceive as your friends do it too. I would say that here's what I would do. If I was advising the Bobs, when she's gone, be it tomorrow morning, what time is it? It's quarter to 1 here. All right, maybe this afternoon. It's announced that there's a big announcement, big press conference, or maybe it'll just go out in a small press release. Kathleen Kennedy is resigning from Lucasfilm or something like that. They'll try to keep it under the rug. Or she'll resign and no one will know about it, which is, yeah, that'll go over like a fart in church. What, she's been gone for a year and we didn't know? I mean, that'll really piss people off. But I would advise them, stop trying to hide things. This is why you get in trouble, is that something bad happens and people do leak. And the reason why leaks happen is because people are unhappy. They want the story to come out. All right. This is why The Rise of Skywalker whole plot got leaked to Doomcock. I didn't want to believe it, but there it was. He was right. All right. So people are saying, well, he just gets this and blah. And I can name a big YouTube channel who likes to pretend like he's the be all and end all of rumor mongering and stuff like that. And he, what that is petty envy. But it doesn't work. But it's not working now, because then the leaks start coming out. Then people like Doomcock and Midnight's Edge and Pirates and Princesses start talking about it. Then I start talking about it, and Geeks and Gamers and World Class Bullshitters and blah 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 blah. Pretty soon the story's out there, and the fans are pissed, or they're happy, but they're getting bombarded by people who don't want to believe it's true because they're being told by other people, unhappy people leaking lies to them, or what they've heard that they're hoping is true. And that hurts everybody. That divides everybody further. And what they should do when it happens, it's not if it happens, it's when it happens. What they should do is go press conference tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Burbank Studios, whatever, hotel, whatever. And Kennedy can be there or not. She can basically leave gracefully in public, get into her limo and put her, Gucci sunglasses on with the girl by and say, to you to the whole thing. Or she doesn't have to show up. But the Bobs show up and basically say, due to the overwhelming negative press in the overwhelming negative response by the fans to Gina Carano's firing, we have deemed it necessary to make a decision that Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm at this time. She has resigned today as of 11 o'clock this morning. And then no questions, because the press will kill them at that time. We're not taking any questions. And the reason simply is this, due to what her contract stipulated, due to what she agreed to, she did not follow the guidelines we gave her. She did not keep the letter of her contract. She did not, she violated certain promises. And I'd be honest. What? Oh, Anton, I'd love that. That would be so funny. If it came for the official Disney account, oh my God, I would just be like, that would be great. But do it honestly and be honest about what happened. We did not expect Gina to that to go out. Gina was not under. Okay, all right. See you, Dan. Have a good class. Gina was not under contract. Gina did nothing wrong. What was going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm to her was a disgrace, and it is undermining our actions at fixing the franchise, which have been successful until now. And that's all you got to do. And then you add, if the people who are worried about diversity and inclusion, we understand why. We understand that you're worried. This franchise has always been diverse, has always been inclusive. You are asking us to literally change the nature of what Star Wars as a franchise is in order to cater to a very small minority of people. All right? This is not a place for activism. Star Wars exists as an escape. It's entertainment. It's fun. And millions of people love it for what it is. And we are trying to bring it back. Now, that doesn't mean that we are, embracing, bigotry towards different categories and different races. No, we're not. But if you look back on the history of the franchise, it never was like that to begin with. And we're, it is not relevant. It is timeless. And we're going back to what that is. And Lucasfilm is being restructured as we speak. There are going to be, the story group, as of this day at 11 o'clock was disbanded, is gone. Those people were told this morning. And we are going ahead with what we're doing. Jon Favreau will now be creative director of Lucasfilm. Momita Sengupta will be heading up production for the streaming service. Michelle Redjuan, and they're both there. All three of them are there. We'll be heading up our feature films division of Lucasfilm. We have Kevin Feige working on a movie, Taika Waititi working on a movie. We have other things we're doing. This is going to be a tough time, but the company will get through it, and hopefully the fans will see what we're doing, understand, and come back, because we know what they've gone through. We know what they've seen. We know how they've been treated, and the people and inside Lucasfilm, from the former regime on down, have been dealt with. They will no longer for the better word, bully the fan base. And that's all you have to say. That's it. That's all you have to say. Well, we're accepting no questions at this time, but John, have the floor. And then give John Favreau the floor. Momody Sen Gupta, Michelle Rejwan, Kevin Feige, Bob Chapek comes up and says, again, reiterates it's going to be a long process. But we have a lot of good stuff coming up, and this is the best team I could ever want for this company moving forward. We are moving forward from the last 8 years. There you go. That's all you have to say. That's it. Be very transparent. Well, what? Yeah, but what has she done? What? Why should Michelle Rejwan get the sack? She hasn't done anything. I don't even know what she does there. She's never said a word, never attacked the fans. You know, she was put there by somebody, and I'm not going to say it was definitely not Kennedy. You know, I mean, because she's doing Kennedy's job. So, that doesn't mean anything. Why? You know, I mean, that doesn't mean anything at all. I mean, she's just handling production. She's not... Again, Carl, I don't care. If you were doing feature film work at Lucasfilm, you were stuck doing that. I mean, for all we know, she was the one leaking shit out there. You know, so if you don't know anything about her, except for she worked for J.J. Abrams, that's not a reason to hate her. Okay, that's really not. I want you to think about that. You know, but being transparent, I think that's what the fans want now. And that's what the fans want now. And I think that's what we deserve. That's what the franchise deserves. And I'd even go ahead and say, and as you know, like as far as the Mandalorian is concerned, and these other shows that we're developing and filming, they would not be ready to go without George Lucas, and then have Lucas walk out. And okay, bye, Anton. And that's what I would do. That's what I would say, because I would have him come out, and I would have John say, George did help me write the seasons 1 through 3 of The Mandalorian. I would have him say that. I would have it so they know that the people know that he was part of that, making it good. Okay, and I would and because it's true. I mean, what was that story? Kennedy calls Chapek or Iger, one or the other, and says, I have some questions about the scripts for season 3 of The Mandalorian. When can we get together? And the answer was, well, John and Dave are working on them with George right now, and she lost her shit. That's when the Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant showed up. First, I'm going around your back. Second one was Gina. All right. And the target of the day for her is Jon Favreau. And I don't see how she could do anything with the allies that he's got. You know. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm losing my voice. And I just wanted to stop by and say hi. It is now, let's see, 1, noon, 11, 10 o'clock on the West Coast. You know, who knows? Announcements happen, and there have been announcements happening. This is Steph sending out. I'll see you around the galaxy, guys.